Hey. How's it going? Okay, we'll start in a few minutes. I'm just going to go ahead and...
Are you live?
Yes.
I was going to give you this. You can eat it after.
I feel that was so
Copy link address. Let me share this a couple places and then we'll get started. Today's going to be a little bit more, I think, worshiping. I didn't really get a chance to study very well. Or I don't know if I can say I didn't get a chance. Let's say I didn't study much for the class, so I'll kind of do an overview of it. So let's see. Hi, Lizzie. Hola. This is going to be in English. Did I put that it was going to be in English? Yes, I did. So, buenos días. Vamos a adorar un poquito y después rapidito repasar la Parashat. Pero dame un segundo. Just a minute. Come on. I'm trying to go fast. Share. All right, so I don't know how many people will connect since it's in English, but I'll get started with some worship music and then we'll go from there.
Okay, today is June 1st. Please say your name and spell it. I'm God, G-O-D. I'm doing this interview and it's getting kind of weird. If I send you a headshot, could you check it out? This interview.
Yeshua is his name. He is coming on the clouds of heaven to bring us to the new Jerusalem. Until then we patiently await our Lord, our Savior and our friend. My Lord, Yeshua. Save us, Lord. Yeshua. Thank you, Lord. He is coming on the clouds of heaven. To bring us to the new Jerusalem. Bring us to the new Jerusalem. Until then we patiently await our Lord, our Savior and our friend, Yeshua. Ribono Shalom, Ribono Shalom, Male Vishalois Libenu Letoyevo. Ribono Shalom, Ribono Shalom, Male Vishalois Libenu Letoyevo. ויופק רצוננו, ושל עשינו, לעשות את ציירו בלילה שולם. ויופק רצוננו, ושל עשינו, לעשות את ציירו בלילה שולם. Ribono Shalom, Ribono Shalom, Male Vishalois Libenu Letoyevo. Ribono Shalom, Ribono Shalom, Male Vishalois Libenu Letoyevo. Ribono Shalom, Ribono Shalom, Malay Mishalai Ribono Letoimo, Ribono Shalom, Ribono Shalom, Malay Mishalai Ribono Letoimo. Ve'ofeinu Seinu, L'Seinu, L'Asai Tzarko V'Leivov Sholem. Ve'ofeinu Seinu, L'Seinu, L'Asai Tzarko V'Leivov Sholem. Ribono Shalom, Ribono Shalom, Oy Malay Mishalai Ribono Letoimo, Ribono Shalom, Ribono Shalom, Oy Malay Mishalai Ribono Letoimo. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Ribono Shalom, Ribono Shalom, Malay Mishalai Ribono Letoimo, Ribono Shalom, Ribono Shalom, Malay Mishalai Ribono Letoimo. Ve'ofeinu Seinu, L'Seinu, L'Asai Tzarko V'Leivov Sholem. Ve'ofeinu Seinu, L'Seinu, L'Asai Tzarko V'Leivov Sholem. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Ribono Shalom, Ribono Shalom, Malay Mishalai Ribono Letoimo. Ribono Shalom, Ribono Shalom, Malay Mishalai Ribono Letoimo.
Estábamos trabajando en la casa.
De pronto comenzó a sonar la alarma.
Al instante, Ring nos llamó.
Hashem, mi kamocha ba'elim Hashem, Adonai, mi kamocha ba'elim Hashem, El Shaddai, mi kamocha ba'elim Hashem. Nidar b'kodesh noat tehilot osef eleh. Nidar b'kodesh noat tehilot osef eleh. Hashem, mi kamocha ba'elim Hashem. Adonai, mi kamocha ba'elim Hashem. Adonai, mi kamocha ba'elim Hashem. Neder b'kodesh noat tehilot osef eleh. Neder b'kodesh noat tehilot osef eleh. Oh Hashem, who is like you amongst other gods? El Shaddai, who is like you amongst other gods? Oh, Adonai, Yeshua, who is like you amongst other gods? Glorious in holiness, awesome in praises, doing wonders. Glorious in holiness, awesome in praises, doing wonders. Neder b'kodesh noat tehilot osef eleh. Neder b'kodesh noat tehilot osef eleh. Glorious in holiness, awesome in praises, doing wonders. Glorious in holiness, awesome in praises, doing wonders. Oh Hashem, mi kamocha ba'elim Hashem. El Shaddai, mi kamocha ba'elim Hashem. Oh Adonai, mi kamocha ba'elim Hashem. Neder b'kodesh noat tehilot osef eleh. 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 Neder b'kodesh noat tehilot מזמור לדוד השם, ראינו עשה. בינות דשא יביצני, על מי מלוכו ינעלני. נפשי ישובר, ינחני במעגלי צדק למען שמו. גם כי אלך בגיא צלמוות, לא ירא כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפניי שולחן נגד צורריי. תשענת בשם אלוהי, קוצי לבעיה. אך טוב בחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי. ושבתי בבית השם לאורך ימים. מזמור לדוד השם, ראינו עשה. בינות דשא יביצני, על מי מלוכו ינעלני. נפשי ישובר, ינחני במעגלי צדק למען שמו. גם כי אלך בגיא צלמוות, לא ירא כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפניי שולחן נגד צורריי. תשענת בשם אלוהי, אך טוב בחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי. ושבתי בבית השם לאורך ימים. ושענת השם אלוהי, קוצי לבעיה. טוב החסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי. ושבתי בבית השם לאורך ימים.
Buenos días. Dame un segundo. Ay, I need help. Bueno. How y'all doing? I forgot this is English. So it's not going to be super long. I wanted to connect on this Shabbat and be able to, worship a little bit and I guess briefly talk about the Parashat. As some of you know, I haven't been live doing this for a couple weeks because we had COVID and I was like out of it. Still recovering, almost fully back. So I don't know, Haiti. I'm doing the English thing, so I don't know. Buenos dias, tarde. I don't know. I forgot I need to do English anyways. So what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to get on and at least be able to worship a little bit and try to come in with some momentum for next week. All right. So this parasha or this portion is Vayigash. I read like an overview of it, did a little study watched this rabbi that I listened to. And I think the thing that's standing out to me the most about this week's Torah portion, which is it's of Joseph and it's of the brothers coming and their relationship with him after the famine hits the land, and we'll review it with we'll go a little bit more detailed. But basically the thing that stood out to me the most is the fact that in Hebrew culture, Jewish culture, whatever you want to call it, there's not really the concept of evil or darkness really dominating a person's life. And what I mean by that is that they tend to look at even the negative things. They flip things and are able to get the positive even out of what is perceived as a negative. Because it's very simple to look at the life of Joseph and what his brothers did to him and how they betrayed him and how they were going to kill him and they sold him into slavery and they lied to their father. All this is most certainly is treacherous. It's dirty, it's schemy, it's backstabbing, it's bad. It's obviously it is. But when Joseph is in a place of power, he chooses to look at what happened from a completely different perspective. And he tells them, this wasn't actually y'all. Like, God allowed this to save you guys, to save my family. So it's just like, can you imagine if your family betrayed you, if your family lied about you, if your family turned you over handed you over to slavery, and then at the end you just say to them, you didn't do anything. God intended this so that I could actually save you guys. And something really interesting that the teacher that I was listening to was saying is that Joseph was every step of the way, once he was in his place of power and the famine hit the land, he said that the stories say that there were multiple ports of entry, places of entry into Egypt. And what Joseph instructed all the people that were leaders at those different points of entry was that every time somebody came into that point of entry, they would have to write their name and the name of their father and the name of their grandfather. And every day those rolls were taken to Joseph for Joseph to examine. And so Joseph was looking and expecting and waiting for his family, his brothers, to come in. So eventually he saw the names of the different brothers, and they had gone to different points of entry. Benjamin, son of Yaakov, Jacob, son of Isaac. And he was able to see, okay, they're here. And what he was saying was that even when Judah, so like when Benjamin was caught with the because Joseph tried to set them up, right? And he put a cup, I think it was a cup, inside of Benjamin's sack, and was saying, this is English, esta clase es en inglés. Esta clase que doy en Shabbat es en inglés. So they had set up basically Benjamin, and they put the cup in his sack. And it says that Judah was willing, and all the brothers were willing to be slaves. And so what was happening right there? This teacher was saying that Joseph was attempting to get them to clear their tikkun, to make up for the mistakes that they had made. So everything that he did, though he had the opportunity to seek vengeance on them, he was concerned with actually rectifying them and bringing peace between. Yeah, Lizzie, excuse you. Te excuso. I will go on. Thank you very much. Estoy dando toda la clase en inglés y ahora me pides español. Come on. No se puede. So, Haiti says, I can relate so much because despite having many reasons to seek revenge or be bitter, Hashem guarded my heart. Not to, but instead allowed me to understand it was for his purpose. Man, there's a lot of things in my life that I've thought about. There's a lot of things that I've thought about lately. And I'm like, if these things wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have the life that I have today. I wouldn't have my wife. I wouldn't have the kids I have. So I'm like, man, a lot of the things that I have looked at for so many years as so negative, and they did this to me and they did that to me. And it's true. They did do these things to me. This stuff really did happen in my life. A lot of things happened in my life that were rough. But you have to learn to be able to flip the situations and not see it so black and white. That's something that me and my wife have been talking about a lot lately, which is like, it's very difficult to try and understand the mind of God. Do we really think that we're going to understand every single one of God's plans with our lives? It's not that simple. It's very complicated. We can't just go around like every situation that happens, we look at it like bad, good, bad. I got hurt. I feel good. I feel bad. Like, it's not that black and white. So something that I really appreciate about looking at things from the Hebrew perspective, even from this story, is Joseph says, what you intended for bad, God used for good. I was in jail. I was a slave. This is what Joseph is saying. I went through all these things, but at the end of the day, look at the position that I'm in now. I'm in a position where I get to take care of you. I get to take care of my family. I get to execute the will of God for our family and for the Jewish people going forward. I'm second in command in Egypt. And without him, they would have been destroyed because he's the one that understood the famine that was coming. So he was the most important person in Egypt. And so for us, we really have to work on seeing the bigger picture and understanding that things are not as simple as we want to make them out to be. Joseph, his soul, the maturity that he had is so elevated, so tremendous, to where he could have, he had the opportunity to destroy his brothers or enslave them, punish them, do something, make them feel a little bit of something, but he didn't do it. He put them in a position where they were able to rectify. So, like I said with Judah, when Benjamin got caught, even though it was a setup, they were willing to be slaves. Like, I will take his place. And so they were rectifying the mistake that they had made in the past with Joseph. With the past, Joseph, they were willing to throw him under the bus. They were willing to enslave him and throw him into slavery. And now they're saying, I'm willing to be a slave. So they were rectifying and fixing that area of their lives. So let me read just a brief overview of what this portion was, and we'll leave it there. Okay, so Vayigash in a nutshell. This is from Chabad.org. Judah approaches Joseph to plead for the release of Benjamin, offering himself as a slave to the Egyptian ruler in Benjamin's stead. Upon witnessing his brothers' loyalty to one another, Joseph reveals his identity to them. He says, I am Joseph. Is my father still alive? The brothers are overcome by shame and remorse, but Joseph comforts them. It was not you who sent me here, he says to them, but God. It has all been ordained from above to save us and the entire region from famine. The brothers rush back to Canaan with the news. Jacob comes to Egypt with his sons and their families, 70 souls in all, and is reunited with his beloved son after 22 years. On his way to Egypt, he receives the divine promise. Fear not to go down to Egypt, for I will there make of you a great nation. I will go down with you into Egypt, and I will also surely bring you up again. Joseph gathers the wealth of Egypt by selling food and seed during the famine. Pharaoh gives Jacob's family the fertile county of Goshen to settle, and the children of Israel prosper in their Egyptian exile. So there could be situations that we're living right now that they seem terrible, they seem horrible, they're uncomfortable. It seems like it's a trap. It seems like we were set up. But we don't know the thoughts of God. Well, a man who's connected or a person who's connected with God does. Joseph ended up understanding. He says this was ordained from heaven. We have to step outside of our situation and truly understand what's going on. What's going on in my life? Why am I where I'm at? Is this from heaven? Is this from God? We have to learn to trust more in God and to trust that he's literally working out the things in our lives. Heidi says, I know, same here. But it's true, this teaching, I felt like if it wasn't me, then who would have been? Because of all in my family, the light of Torah came to me and my children I am honored. Exactly. Yeah, things aren't exactly how we want them to be at some times, but we've got the best thing that we could ever have, which is the truth, which is we have the opportunity to wake up, to have the truth, and that our descendants, our children, and our children's children have a different outlook on life, have a different future. They don't have to go through the same things we went through. What is a bigger blessing than that? What is better than that? What is bigger than that? There's nothing. There's literally, there's nothing else you could ask for. that's bigger than that. It's all about perspective. I think we got to change our perspective. Anyways, my people, I'm going to let y'all go. Hopefully next week I'm back 100%. And si estás y solo hablas español, nos vemos en otro video esta semana. Yo creo que para el lunes voy a seguir con el estudio de meditación y la Biblia. Y nada, les dejo. El Eterno les bendiga. God bless you guys. Take care. Have a nice day. Tengan un Shabbat lindo. Nos vemos. El Eterno les bendiga. Yeah, it was like an appetizer for sure. There's a lot in that Parashat. So anyways, nos vemos. Lizzie, que te vaya bien. Bye. Bye, Heidi. Take care.